Hi, Gemini. It's Denise with Divine Soul Astrology, and today I'm here to talk about Uranus entering your sign, and that is April 26th of this year, and it's going to be at 7:51 Universal Time. All right, so please check for your time. And I'm here on the West Coast, so mine will be at 1:51 p.m. Sorry, 8:51 Universal Time. So yeah, you'll have to check for your own. So let's get into this because Uranus entering your sign, it's going to be there until May of 2033. So Gemini, that's a really big deal. And Uranus was already in your sign. It was in your sign last year for a little while, and now it is coming back to stay, except for a little short a little short stay in Cancer, but it will return to Gemini for the duration of the transit, right? In your sign. So Uranus is a lightning bolt. It's electric, it's sudden change, it's innovation, liberation, and much more. Uranus disrupts, liberates, and will leave us permanently changed. Uranus is kind of a generational planet, right? Because for 7 years, there can be a lot of change happening. Uranus wants to remove us from outdated structures, social structures, any type of structures that are kind of hindering progress or that just, they're outdated. And so Uranus will call for new methods of communication in your sign, new technological advances, breakthroughs, and breakaways. Yeah, Uranus wants us to break away. It can bring us spiritual breakthroughs or inventive, genius breakthroughs, all types of breakthroughs. It really can. All right. Uranus is also, um, it is, it is associated with the higher realm and our intuition. It is. So Uranus will be in your sign, the planet of communication, ideas, goals, and skills, the familiar, siblings and extended family, and also early childhood. So Gemini rules sales, it rules our willpower, but the main is the cerebral and our communication, right? And these are just some of the Gemini themes that will be impacted. Of course, this is going to depend on your own chart, your own natal chart, um, um, Gemini, and this is going to be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It will depend on your own, and I'm not able to see that, but this is mundane astrology, but there will be definitely a lot of Gemini definitely feeling this, right? Because it will enter your sign for everybody, right? Now, it's going to depend for everybody, for all Gemini. It's going to depend on what house it is entering into for you, and we'll talk about that. Coming from a mundane perspective, right? And so Gemini is the air element. You may be aware of that, Gemini, and you're a mutable and a masculine sign. So if you can imagine Uranus, coming into your sign, which is mutable and changeable, and masculine, it's going to be a big deal. So we're likely to see change in air travel, right? Aeronautics itself, wind technology, computer technology, and AI. We will likely enjoy new inventions and faster and more efficient electronics and the way we communicate with others, especially those who live at a distance, because Gemini rules social media as well. Um, and the way we communicate with those people who live at a distance will change and improve the method in which we exchange ideas with others. We'll see upgrades and collective paradigms will shift because you are the sign of thinking, the mind, right? The way we process information. So, but the collective paradigms will shift, and there could be social change as well. Uranus is associated with social change, and Uranus will encourage independence and freedom. Yeah, to break away from conventional or traditional limitations, all right? The last time Uranus was in Gemini was in 1941 until 1949. So this is about 84 years ago. I did a video last year on Uranus entering your sign. But this is going to be, it's going to be a little bit more important now because we'll be staying, this is my point, right? Staying in your sign for 7 years. And so Uranus has a sudden and unexpected quality. And so on December 7th, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in Hawaii here in the United States. And so this is making us wonder what Uranus will be up to in the next 7 years. All right. So let's talk about you, Gemini, and because this is going to be affecting you, Aries, and maybe perhaps, Mercury ruled Virgo as well, um, because it's ruled by Mercury. You're sharing that rulership, right? Under Mercury. So a lot's going to be changing for you over the next 7 years. Your appearance could change. The way you look, the way you dress, maybe your personality, something about your personality, your manners, especially the way you communicate, your manners and your style, self-expression, and how others perceive you. Uranus can really step into help you advance on anything that anything you feel needs to improve, or you need to innovate, right? You need an upgrade. Definitely it will, and it will give you a lot of courage here, or definitely make you want to break free from something that maybe you are holding on to during its stay in Taurus, right? That could be the case. Uranus in Taurus it's a slower energy, although there's nothing slow about Uranus, but it doesn't really like to be in, I feel it's probably in fall. I mean, off the top of my head, I am not, or maybe detriment, it could be, but the point about it is that Uranus is far more comfortable in Gemini as I see things. But, and so now you could really be kind of having that, wow, I'm going to do this, or just changing, right? With more independence, more freedom, and more authenticity, because that's what Uranus wants us to be, authentic and break away from these things that are like kind of hindering progress, right? All right. So what motivates you could be changing, Gemini. And so we have Uranus, and it is trining Pluto in another air sign. This is a minor triangle where, Uranus is trining Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation and great change, right? Regeneration. And so there's going to be a lot of change for you. And, so with that Uranus trine to Pluto, and the trine is always something, it's usually 90% of the time, it's very supportive because these planets are in the same element, right? You're both air elements. So this is an air trine, as I said, but it will be to a fixed sign, right? Aquarius is a fixed sign. And so this change will be everlasting. It definitely will be. Whatever you are transforming, will change. And so this Pluto is here in your ninth house of purpose. So that's changing for you. Or you could finally be stepping into your real purpose, your higher purpose, and what you want to do, like the mark you want to leave here on this earth. Right? And this is the ninth house of higher purpose and expansion and growth and wisdom. So this is going to be a really good Uranus in your sign will really help you to innovate. And that's a Uranus word, right? It definitely is. All right. And this is going to be happening really, this transformation will really be a collective one as well for, Gemini's, like everywhere, right? Really. We talked about Pluto being in your ninth. Let's see what else I have. I also have Uranus is sextiling Neptune right here. Neptune is in your 11th house of the future. So here we have, Uranus is very future oriented as well. So here you could have spiritual breakthroughs. You could, and this can also be, maybe you are stepping into kind of creative. Neptune has a creative flair, and Neptune wants you really to believe in your visions and your dreams. It's very idealistic, and it is about our dreams as well, Neptune. So, you could definitely be kind of, maybe believing in your own dreams, right? And you might be engaging more in spiritual activities. That is a sextile. A sextile is kind of you have to engage in it, or it's In order for that kind of opportunity, so to speak, to be available, you have to be social. You have to kind of engage in it, and you are a very social sign. So, that is not usually hard for you. No, it's not. You're a mutable sign too. So change is always, it comes easier. All right. So we have your natal Mercury. Let's talk about natal Mercury right now because it is the ruler of Uranus and it is also the ruler of your fourth house here, your fourth house of emotional needs. Something you may need something emotional to change you for in order to support your emotional needs, right? God, I need this change, or I need to break free from something, or I need to be more independent and go for this, right? And live the freedom that I need, because only freedom will fuel innovation, right? Freedom or independence, right? Because we can't have innovation and change and progress if we don't really if we're not stepping into the freedom or the free side of ourselves, or we're not independent, right? So now, I think I'm explaining that well enough, I would hope. But now, this is Mercury um, is also ruling your fourth house of home and family. Maybe you are going to move, or like the type of home you want will change. Your perspective maybe on home and family, that could change as well. For the better, I would say, definitely. And this can bring you these Uranus, excuse me, in your first house can bring you some major breakthroughs with anything, with your work, right? With your higher purpose, especially here because we have Pluto here. All right. Now, Neptune is also in your house of gains, usually from the 10th house of career. So here we have that sextile I was just talking about with Uranus, right? Uranus sextiling Neptune. All right. So we talked about Mercury, and Mercury here, your ruler, is in Aries at this time, the 11th house of the future as well. So everything for you is, for a lot of us, this is going to change the future for a lot of us, of course, everybody really, Uranus, but Mercury is here in your 11th house of the future. Your friends might change. It's possible that also maybe your relationship possibly with siblings and things like that, but your idea of your friends, that could change as well. Or this is the 11th house of social groups as well, where Mercury is. You're like maybe you're not aligned with the same people during the next 7 years. We do grow, we sure do, right? And this is, moving into Uranus is entering your first house. Uranus is also associated with friends and social groups and social change, and it is about the collective really. So maybe that will change. All right, so we also have Mercury. Mercury is making a trine here to Black Moon Lilith, right? It's our shadow, right? But it is something that we have to face and come to terms with and accept, but try to grow from that, right? That's all we can do. With everybody has something, a shadow, and sometimes it is just kind of not feeling good enough. Sometimes that is the shadow. Yeah, and so right, it is definitely not. It is the shadow is right, the opposite of the light, right? And we are light. We are God is in us and we are light. We are pure light. So the shadow comes along. It is the part of ourselves that really kind of needs to be faced and kind of dealt with, really. But here you have Mercury, and is it Mercury or is it Mars? We have your Mercury is trining Lilith and Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is your seventh house of relationships. It's also your house of where you create balance and harmony in your life. It is the house of opponents, people who don't agree with us, people, who may argue with us or maybe not. Maybe they just don't agree with us. Those can be considered like opponents, right? So this can be, there's something healing here, really, or, you're able to kind of see something in the way maybe you interact with people or you relate to people that is like healing, really, or is you're able to see something and overcome it really with that trine. That's a very good thing. All right. And this is you also kind of in a way able to see something, but you're also Gemini. I wonder what that was. You're also able to see um, that that you're able to see your power, right? Lilith is associated with Scorpio and power as well. You're able to see your power and like your raw power, where I'm not going to apologize I'm not going to apologize for who I am, but I may, you may relate to people in a better way. In other words, there could be like improvement kind of, or you see something about yourself, but you're not apologizing. You are standing in your power but at the same time able to see something that needs improvement or that maybe that you were holding on to or something or and you're no longer doing that. So it's really a place of power for you, all right? And your voice also, your voice will become, because this is Mercury, right? Mercury rules the communication over here. Your voice will also become more powerful in how you deal with other people. Yeah, and this is, it's in Sagittarius. So your philosophy too, on maybe, the things you talk about and things like that. Your voice will be more authentic. People will probably listen to you more, right? Which is always a good thing. Gemini wants to be heard because it is rules communication, right? Yeah. I also have a Gemini rising, so I understand this, right? For sure. The majority of the planets are really in your 11th house of the future, Gemini. So everything is, it's just looking really good here for you. It is, and definitely Uranus entering your first sign is supporting your own progress, your own future, and supporting your 11th house as well, because here is Mercury sitting there in the 11th house of the future. All right. Um, yeah, and so. Um, And the other thing I wanted to say is that your friends, the friends that you are kind of seeking out, possibly people that you might be aligning with more, you might have more like intellectually. It's possible that you will have more in common intellectually. You might also have friends that are a little bit more unconventional, maybe, or eccentric. That could be the case. Because Mercury is in that house right there, right? And this is a big Mercury theme for you here today, really for everybody, because Uranus is entering the sign that is ruled by Mercury, right? So we also have Mercury is making a square to Jupiter, okay? So yeah, and that square to Jupiter is in your house of finance and self-worth. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's in Cancer. That's right, your second house. And Mercury and Mars both are pushing you to see the bigger picture so you can create something dynamic for yourself, all right? I feel like what's going on here, part of the thing is that you are stepping into a little bit of unknown territory because Uranus brings the unknown. It's just like I feel like I need to grow and innovate, and so I'm gonna, kind of step into the freedom. I'm gonna enjoy my independence. I'm gonna break free. And so, when we have this Mercury squaring Gemini, Mars is doing the same. Yeah, see, Mars is squaring Gemini there. So when we have that going on, this is saying go for it, right? And you know what? It's just challenging you to see the big picture and likely how you can grow and how you can expand with Jupiter in your second house of self-worth. Yeah, Jupiter is growth and expansion as well. So it's challenging you to uh, kind of raise the bar for yourself, and it is telling you see the big picture because so much can change for you and innovate and get better for you really if you so um, basically step into your independence, right? And uh, and accept the growth and expansion that is really coming with this. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, right? So we talked about, well, I don't think I did mention Venus too much, no, or very much rather. So here's Venus in your first house. Venus is about your self-worth. It is about how you relate to others. It's about your finances, material gain, and your relationships. Yeah, both. Because remember, Venus rules Taurus and Libra both, right? So Venus is ruling your 12th house of endings. Something's ending here for you. And while it supports Uranus, the change and the the innovation really, and the kind of, yeah. And so, and Uranus, not Uranus, but Venus also rules your fifth house of love and sex and creative self-expression. It's a beautiful thing, Gemini. All right. So I'm going to end this reading. If you've enjoyed my video today, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for joining me. Hit the bell if you want to be notified of my next upload. If you like a reading with me, I'm a consulting astrologer as well. I have all kinds of great readings on my website. I will be changing pricing, so I haven't gotten there yet. So if you'd like a reading with me, just email me and I will marking the readings down. Yeah, and there's a lot of great readings on there to really show you really who you are at a great, at a very deep level. That's what astrology is about, to help you reach your true potential, right? It's all about transformation. Everybody who gets a reading is always looking for kind of their higher purpose and how to get there. All right. Thank you so much for joining me here today.